Go to your kitchen for a second. Grab your olive oil bottle, the one with the beautiful Italian label, the vineyard, the stone house, maybe a farmer pouring fresh oil. Now here's the uncomfortable question. What if that bottle isn't actually extra virgin olive oil? Researchers at UC Davis bought 134 bottles of the most popular imported olive oil brands directly from supermarket shelves. Then they tested them. The result shocked the industry, and 73% failed the standards required to be called extra virgin olive oil. Not a small problem, not a labeling mistake. Nearly 3 out of 4 bottles didn't meet the grade they were selling. Some were already rancid. Others showed signs of oxidation or degradation long before reaching the shelf. And one of the brands on today's list is sitting in millions of kitchens right now. So before you pour that next tablespoon on your food, you need to see this, because the bottle might not be what it claims. Number 10, Mazola. This one has been around for generations. It's a pantry staple name, the kind your parents or grandparents might have kept around. You've probably grabbed it without a second thought. The label implies a quality cooking oil. But Mazola was among the brands named as a defendant in the California lawsuit filed after the UC Davis study, which alleged that oils were marketed as extra virgin when they allegedly didn't meet that classification. According to the Olive Oil Times, the 2010 lawsuit named Mazola alongside 9 other brands, alleging that defendants had been knowingly misleading and defrauding California consumers. These are legal allegations, and not all claims resulted in findings of liability. Still, being named in that filing puts it on this list. If you're buying this for the health benefits of genuine extra virgin oil, the polyphenols, the antioxidants, and what you're getting is a degraded or blended product, you're not getting what you paid for. That's the real cost. Not just money, but the nutritional expectation you had. Verdict: unless you can verify current testing results, this one belongs on the skeptical shelf. And the next brand actually sounds more premium, which makes what the test showed even more surprising. Sin number 9, Safeway Select, now sold as Signature Select. Store brand olive oil seems like a smart buy. You're skipping the marketing budget, right? Just the oil. Turns out, the brand name isn't the only thing that's been stripped down. The label implies you're getting extra virgin quality at a value price. Safeway. Select was named among the brands allegedly selling substandard oil under the extra virgin label. According to Olive Oil Times, so the brand was among the 10 named in the 2010 California class action lawsuit following the UC Davis study. The lawsuit alleged that covert testing by the plaintiff's law firm showed samples had defective flavors such as rancid, fusty, and musty. These are lawsuit allegations. Store brand oils often go through longer supply chains with less quality oversight. When they're also labeled extra virgin, consumers have no way to know they may be paying a premium grade price for oil that reportedly smells of fermentation. Bottom line, skip it unless a current third-party test or certification backs it up. Up next, a brand with a celebrity name attached. That doesn't help the oil inside the bottle. Number 8, Rachael Ray. Celebrity-endorsed products feel trustworthy because we trust the person. Rachael Ray is a household name in American cooking. When that name on a bottle of olive oil feels like a personal endorsement, the brand promises quality tied to a recognizable culinary personality. But according to Olive Oil Times coverage of the lawsuit, Rachael Ray's olive oil was one of the 10 brands specifically named in the California class action. The lawsuit, which sought class action status and alleged hundreds of millions of dollars in restitution, named Rachael Ray as a defendant alongside major brands like Bertolli and Pompeian. But the core allegation, oils labeled extra virgin, did not meet that standard. These remain lawsuit allegations. You're paying a markup partly because of the name on the bottle. If the oil inside doesn't meet the grade printed on the label, that name recognition is the only thing you bought. Verdict: the brand name does the heavy lifting here, not the quality verification. The next brand is one of the most widely distributed on this list. You'll find it in nearly every major chain. To number 7, Star. Star is one of those classic Italian branded olive oils that fill shelves at Kroger, Walmart, and independent grocery stores alike. It's been on American shelves for decades and carries that imported European credibility. The label implies Mediterranean heritage and premium quality. Star was named as a defendant in the 2010 class action lawsuit, alongside 9 other brands. According to Olive Oil Times, the lawsuit targeted brands including Star, then alleging they had been selling product that failed extra virgin classification criteria while charging premium prices. The UC Davis study that prompted the lawsuit tested major supermarket brands purchased at California retailers. Rancid oil doesn't just taste bad, it means the beneficial compounds that make extra virgin olive oil worth buying have already broken down. You're essentially paying extra virgin prices for oil that's past its prime. Bottom line, the heritage imagery on the bottle isn't a quality guarantee. Number 6 is one you've definitely seen at Costco. Bigger bottle, bigger problem. Number 6, Carapelli. Carapelli is an Italian brand with a long history, sold in elegant-looking bottles. It reads as artisan. It reads as authentic. The packaging is doing a lot of work. Like the others before it, Carapelli was named among the 10 brands in the California lawsuit following the UC Davis findings. The allegations: marketing substandard oil under the extra virgin label. Olive Oil Times reported that the lawsuit alleged defendants had been knowingly misleading and defrauding California consumers for years, charging a premium for oil that allegedly did not meet extra virgin classification. Carapelli was among the named defendants. These are legal allegations. Premium-looking packaging and an Italian name create a perception of quality. Then when that perception isn't backed by independent verification, consumers have no way to evaluate what's actually in the bottle. Verdict: the bottle looks like quality. Independent testing should confirm it before you trust it. Pause right here and check your pantry. Is any of these in your kitchen? Comment "found it" below. Number 5, Mezzetta. Mezzetta is a brand many shoppers associate with high-quality Italian-style products. Their jarred peppers, their olives, that halo effect makes it easy to assume the olive oil is equally vetted. Product association isn't quality testing. Mezzetta was named in the California lawsuit targeting brands that allegedly failed extra virgin standards. The Olive Oil Times article covering the lawsuit specifically listed Mezzetta among the 10 named defendant brands. The lawsuit referenced the UC Davis study, which found 73% of samples from the 5 top-selling imported brands failed sensory panels, as foundational evidence. Mezzetta has not been the subject of a court ruling confirming these allegations. When you buy a brand's olive oil because you love their other products, you're trusting cross-category reputation rather than specific quality verification for that oil. Bottom line, cross-category trust is not a quality standard. We look for verification specific to the oil. The next 3 are the heavy hitters, the brands in virtually every American home. Number 4, Colavita. Colavita is often positioned as a step above the generic brands. You'll find it at Walmart, Target, and specialty grocery stores. It has the look of a premium product, the dark green bottle, the Italian countryside imagery, without the ultra-premium price. The brand implies authentic Italian quality. But Colavita was also named in the 2010 California lawsuit, which alleged that oils labeled extra virgin failed to meet that classification. According to Olive Oil Times, the lawsuit alleged that covert testing showed samples with defective sensory attributes. Colavita was among the 10 brands specifically named. The UC Davis study that preceded the lawsuit found that not all brands failed equally, but Colavita's inclusion in the litigation is a matter of public record. Colavita occupies that trust sweet spot where it feels like you've made the smart, slightly better choice. If the oil in that bottle isn't delivering extra virgin quality, that feeling of smart spending is the product being sold. Verdict: the brand positioning feels premium. The independent evidence says verify before you trust. Number 3 is the one most people have used their whole lives, and it's where things get most disappointing. Number 3, Filippo Berio. Filippo Berio might be the most recognized Italian olive oil brand in America. The name, the face on the bottle, the green label, it's practically iconic in American grocery stores. This is the one people grab when they want to feel like they're buying the real thing. The brand trades heavily on Italian heritage and a premium reputation. Filippo Berio was one of the brands named in the class action lawsuit, and given its market dominance, the implications are significant. Then the Olive Oil Times report confirmed Filippo Berio as one of the 10 brands named in the lawsuit. The lawsuit's core allegations, that the oils labeled extra virgin were sold below that standard, with some allegedly adulterated with cheaper refined oils, are allegations, not proven findings. But the UC Davis study testing top-selling brands showed that the most popular imported brands had the worst combined failure rates, 73% across the 5 biggest names. When the most trusted name in your category is flagged by both university researchers and a class action lawsuit, it tells you something about the category as a whole. Reputation built over decades isn't the same as quality verified today. Bottom line, the icon on the bottle has carried this brand further than independent testing has confirmed. Number 2 is the one sitting in more homes than almost any other, and the allegations against it are some of the strongest on this list. Number 2, Pompeian. Pompeian is a staple. It's at Costco in the giant jug, at Walmart in the everyday section, at Target in the organic aisle. It markets itself across multiple quality tiers: regular, organic, robust, extra virgin. The variety implies transparency. More SKUs doesn't mean more accountability. Pompeian was among the 10 brands named in the lawsuit, and its mass market scale means any quality gap affects an enormous number of consumers. According to Olive Oil Times, Madame Pompeian was named as a defendant in the California class action, alleging that products marketed as extra virgin olive oil did not meet that classification. The UC Davis study researchers noted that California and Australian oils in the same study had 0 failures on both sensory panels. When you're buying the giant Costco jug for everyday cooking, you want to know that the oil inside is what the label says. If it's a degraded or blended product, you're using it for months of a product that reportedly doesn't meet the standard you're paying for. Verdict: the volume and availability are appealing. The quality verification is what's missing. And the number 1 brand on this list, the one that spent decades as America's default olive oil, is the most important one of all. Number 1, Bertolli. Bertolli is, arguably, the face of olive oil in America. It's in every grocery store, it's been in commercials for decades, and it's often the first brand people think of when they think of olive oil. The green bottle, the Italian name, the trust has been earned, or at least purchased, over generations of marketing. Bertolli's scale and name recognition have created a default assumption of quality. The UC Davis study and subsequent lawsuit targeted the top-selling imported brands, and Bertolli, as the market leader, was among the named defendants. Then Bertolli was the first brand listed among the 10 named in the California class action lawsuit covered by Olive Oil Times, which alleged that Bertolli and others were knowingly misleading and defrauding California consumers by marketing substandard oil as extra virgin. The lawsuit sought an injunction preventing further distribution of the questioned oil, plus potentially hundreds of millions in restitution. These are legal allegations. However, the context is supported by the UC Davis research. 73% of the top 5 imported brands' samples failed sensory testing. Bertolli holds a dominant position in that imported top 5 category. Bertolli's dominance means that when American consumers think they're buying quality olive oil, they're often reaching for this bottle. If the oil inside is rancid or degraded, that's not a fringe problem. It's the mainstream experience. It's millions of families cooking with something that reportedly isn't what the label promises. Bottom line, being the most popular option and being the best option are not the same thing. Bertolli has built a brand. Independently verified quality is a different standard entirely. All right, let's talk about what to buy instead. And I want to be honest with you here. The safe picks cost more. Some are harder to find. But here's what the UC Davis research actually tells us about what good oil looks like. Safe pick number 1, California Olive Ranch. Here's what the UC Davis study found. None of the California olive oil samples failed both sensory panels. 0. Compare that to 73% of the top imported brands. California Olive Ranch is transparent about harvest dates. Look for the best buy date on the bottle and ideally a harvest year. It's widely available at Costco, Target, and most major grocery chains. It's not cheap, but it's real. One drawback, it's a larger commercial operation, so flavor profiles can vary year to year. But the transparency and domestic sourcing put it in a different category from the brands on this list. Buying rule, look for the harvest date. If you can't find one, be skeptical. Safe pick number 2, Corto Olive. Corto was actually one of the funders of the UC Davis study, which means they put their money behind the research that exposed the industry's problems. That's a signal. They also focus on early harvest, which typically means higher polyphenol content and a fresher, more peppery flavor. Drawback, harder to find in big box stores. You'll likely need a specialty store or online order. Sheer buying rule, look for early harvest or polyphenol rich on the label. These are signals of a producer who cares about the actual chemistry of the oil. Safe pick number 3, oils with the COOC certification seal. The California Olive Oil Council runs its own certification program with standards that go beyond what federal regulations require. Any oil with the COOC seal has been tested for sensory defects and chemistry. This isn't a single brand, it's a certification. Look for the COOC seal on California-produced oils at specialty grocery stores. Drawback, selection is limited and prices are higher than mass-market brands. But the seal means the oil was tested. That's the baseline. Safe pick number 4, Australian olive oils with the AOA mark. The UC Davis study found that Australian olive oil samples also had 0 failures on both sensory panels. Same result as California. Australia adopted more rigorous testing standards earlier than the US, and the Australian Olive Association maintains certification. These are harder to find on American shelves, but some specialty grocery stores and online retailers carry them. Buying rule, look for the Australian Olive Association certification, or at minimum, a clearly stated harvest date. Here's your fast framework. You don't need to memorize every brand. You just need these rules at the store. Look for a harvest date on the bottle, not just a best buy date, an actual harvest year. Her fresh oil matters. If the label hides where the olives came from, skip it. Imported from Italy often means processed in Italy. The olives could be from anywhere. California-produced oils outperformed imported brands in independent university testing. That's a data point worth using. If there's a third-party certification, COO, C Seal, Australian Olive Association mark. That's a verified claim, not just a marketing line. Dark glass or tin packaging matters. Light degrades olive oil. Avoid clear plastic bottles on a sunny shelf. If it's extra light or pure olive oil, that's refined oil, not extra virgin. It's a different product. Not necessarily bad, but not what you think you're buying. And if the price seems too good for extra virgin, trust that instinct. Real extra virgin olive oil costs real money to produce correctly. Comment below and tell me where you buy your olive oil. Walmart, Costco, Aldi, Kroger? I want to know what's in your area. Here's the one thing I want you to walk away with. The label extra virgin in the United States does not guarantee what you think it does. University researchers tested 134 samples of the top-selling imported brands. Nearly 3 out of 4 failed. The brands on this list aren't all equal. Some have more evidence against them than others. But the pattern is clear enough that you should be asking for more than a label. The good news, better options exist. They're increasingly available. And the rules for finding them are simple. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe. Because tomorrow I'm going inside the bottled water industry, where the label tricks are just as common and the stakes might be even higher. And drop a comment. Did any of these brands surprise you? Or are you someone who already knew this and just couldn't convince anyone in your family? Let me know.